Hi, everybody. Hopefully, I'm live. I don't know whether I am or not. I'm going to use my laptop. I've never done it before, so be patient with me. Hopefully, you can hear me. If you can, give me a thumbs up or let me know if you can hear me and if I'm live. I appreciate it. All right, thank you so much. So again, I'm new to this, so this is my first time doing this. So um, I'm a little bit nervous. So hopefully it's good stuff. So so I know there's a few people on. So but anyway, so today I kind of want to talk about my keto journey anyway, and how everybody else is doing, and um, kind of more of an experiment. Hopefully everything is good as far as the sound quality goes, and so I got to figure that all out. I know I actually got a new camera that I can hook up to my laptop, but I got to figure out how to hook it up. So I didn't use that. I'm just using the webcam on the laptop. So hopefully that's okay. So again, you know, it's kind of a weird thing. So hi, Misty. Hi, Sharon, Sherry, Sandy. Thank you all for joining. You know, it's kind of a really beautiful day here in California. I don't know how it is everybody else. We've actually had some really extremely warm weather here for the last couple of days. We were cool last weekend and into the part of the week. And then we were in the upper 80s, low 90s the last couple of days. It's going to be close to 90 degrees again today. So really warm weather here in California. So, so it's been interesting to say the least, with all the temperatures going up and down and up and down. So, hey, let me know how you think, how is your weather and how's it where you are? Are you getting snow yet anywhere up north? I have a sister-in-law that lives up in Wisconsin, and she sent some pictures yesterday of it was snowing a little bit. And where she is, she's not too far from Green Bay. So, but anyway, so I kind of wanted to talk about my weight loss journey this past week. So, so I wanted to kind of see how everybody else is doing. So, I wanted to say thank you. I know Linda's not on here yet, but I wanted from Paleo Barbie, but I wanted to thank her. She gave me this hat. She actually I haven't took the stickers off it yet. So she actually went to the Keto show in Las Vegas and came back with a bunch of stuff and gave it away, giveaway. So this is one of the things I actually won it off of her channel. So so thank you, Linda. So over it, go check out Paleo Barbie on her channel as well. So that would be greatly appreciated. So it's kind of interesting to kind of watch this as you're trying to talk and you're trying to look off to the side a little bit to see the scrolling messages and see who's here and everything else. So but I want to thank everybody for joining, especially seeing how it's my first time and I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I did want to talk a little bit about, again, my weight. So I did go down a little bit this week. So I kind of changed, because last week when I weighed myself, I didn't expect to hit my goal. My goal is 180 pounds. That's what the doctor had set for me. So hi, Shay. So I didn't expect to hit my goal that fast. I expected it to take 2 or 3 weeks to hit my goal. So when I set my my calendar up for the month of November and what I was going to do, and hey, Janet. How's the hunting going? So I kind of thought I was going to take a lot longer to hit my goal than what I have. So I kind of decided that I was going to take a couple more weeks to hit my goal. And last week I hit my goal. I actually went under my goal. I was at 179.2, so that was under the 180 mark. So I kind of reevaluated and I kind of looked at, and this was, what was I have? If you've seen it on my pages or anything, this was the calendar for November. I actually kind of took this from the from Wendy over at Loving It on Keto. They had done Hurry and Wendy had done a calendar. So I thought it was a great idea, helping keep me on track and stuff. Of course, I've written all over this one. You'll see that all my notes and stuff on it. And, so I kind of wrote what I thought I would have to do to hit my goal this month. And I'm actually a week ahead of this on my goal. So I've actually moved things up. So I think Janet's doing the same thing where, oh, nice. So Janet's husband got a nice deer, and wish she could send some venison down here. So I'm kind of a week ahead, and I've actually accelerated things a little bit. So I've actually last weekend I did my 22 net carbs on both Saturday and Sunday rather than waiting another week. So I've started incorporating back into the net carbs and getting out of the total carbs. I'll tell you, it was really weird because like we sat down and I had some keto cookies and some things of that nature. So it was just kind of weird eating that stuff. I did eat an ice cream bar yesterday, one of those keto bars, because they're 2 net carbs, but they're 11 total carbs. So I wouldn't eat that on total carbs, but I would eat it on the net carbs. So it was kind of weird eating that stuff. So I'm incorporating more of that stuff into it. So I wish I did. Well, Janet, you'd have to live closer to me because I'm not living up in the snow. So that would be Canada's too cold for me. Yeah. So it's gonna be. I weigh myself every Friday. So it kind of, that's where I'm drawing the plan from. So this week I was down another 0.2 of a pound. So because of that, I think I'm going to incorporate more net carb days into my weekly diet. So not just do it on the weekends, but I may do it a couple days a week. I'm kind of playing around. My wife and I have been talking about whether I keep one protein sparing modified day in a week or do I take it out. I think I'm going to leave it in for another week or two. Just, I don't know, just see what happens. Again, I don't want to go too far one way and then have me starting to gain weight and then have to kind of pull it back. And I'd kind of like to ease into it. And I know, Janet, you're in the same mode that I'm in there. You're going back to net carbs as well and trying to incorporate it because your goal as well. I don't know if anybody else is at their goal or they're doing maintenance or how they're doing their maintenance. You are, let me know. Maybe you can give me some pointers because I'd really, really, really appreciate it. So, So with that said, so I am going to do that protein sparing modifying fast 1 day a week right now for another week or two, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so Janet says she's going back to keto for the rest of the year, and then she's going to reevaluate January 1st. I think I'm not going to go fully back to. I'm going back to keto 6 days a week. So it's just a matter of whether I'm doing net carbs or total carbs. And I will tell you that net carbs has, like I said, again, it's going to be eating a lot of, at least this week, and it kind of felt really, really strange because I ate a lot of stuff that I normally wouldn't eat. I got some of the ratio protein bars, and there are, I think, 9 total carbs. So that's something I normally wouldn't eat, but I got a box of them, and I said, what the heck? I keep them at my desk, and I've actually eaten 1 or 2 of them this past week. So it's been good stuff. So let me know. Are you tracking it'd be interesting to know whether who's tracking total carbs, who's tracking net carbs, or if you're even tracking carbs. So um, I know this week as well, still doing Derek's Step Challenge. So working on Derek's Step Challenge this week. I know I did a little over 100,000 steps this past week, so I had a pretty good week. I don't know. There's a few other folks on here. I know Sharon's. She's leading up one of the teams for Derek's Journeys Step Challenge as well. So it's good. It helps me get going, keeps me going at night, saying, "Hey, I got to get out. I got to go for a walk. I got to keep motivated." So Sharon, yeah, she's heading up the pink team. So I'm on the Skywalker team. So Derek, I shouldn't say that. And Gur over at Too Fat, Too Furious actually put a really good video. He's our leader for our team, and he did a really, really nice intro to the team and who the teams are, and had us all do these little Skywalker Jedi things that were actually pretty cool. They came out really, really cool. So I was pretty impressed. So, so we got a few people that are not tracking carbs. Are you tracking just calories, or are you just kind of just watching what you eat? Everybody's different, and one thing's not going to work for everybody, right? So low carb may work for one person, and it may not work for somebody else. I know I did Weight Watchers before, and it worked for me. My problem was once I hit a goal, I didn't stay there, and I just started to digress and get back to where I was. So yeah, Misty really liked the intro to the Skywalker day. It was pretty good. I was pretty impressed. I'm not very talented when it comes to the computer and the editing and the stuff. I'm in awe of some of the other folks I see. Like Janet puts a lot of music in with her tracks and stuff like that, and that kind of stuff. So I got to learn how to do that, the fast forwarding and the editing and the putting in the music and some other stuff. So I'm pretty poor when it comes to that stuff. So I'm pretty basic. So Janet says she's definitely tracking her macros right now. So she's back on keto, but she's following her protocol to follow it. So of course Misty's saying she doesn't really track it. She's just kind of watching her net carbs totally. And I think if you're a habit eater, like I'm kind of a habit eater, so I eat a lot of the same stuff all the time. So for me, it's pretty easy sometimes to not track, because if I ate the same thing today, basically, that I ate yesterday, I know that what it was yesterday, today. So the trouble is when you start eating odds and ends and introducing other stuff. So I know Sharon's also doing a challenge with the kick keto, kick sugar to the curb. So I know a lot of people are having a lot of success with that, and I found that because I don't eat a lot of sugar, and I don't think most of us that are doing keto don't eat a lot of sugar. So even natural sugar that's in a lot of the foods and stuff, that we don't eat a lot of it. So because we're cut out most of the fruits and stuff of that nature. So so it really helps a lot. And I will tell you that that if I eat something that's sugar, I get a bad headache and I don't feel well, and it kind of messes me up for a day or two, right? So it's kind of not a good thing. I can really feel it when I eat sugar. So you gotta, like Sharon says, you gotta read the labels, right? So and you really, really do. So there's sugar in just about everything today. And it's amazing what they put sugar in, things that you would never think of. And when people always tell me how they're not having a lot of success with keto, the first thing I ask them is, are you using any kind of condiments? And when you're looking at the condiments, are you looking at the content of the condiments, because things like ketchup. I love ketchup, and I put ketchup on eggs. I put ketchup on my hot dogs. I put ketchup on burgers. I put ketchup on all kinds of stuff, and it just and it's like half sugar when you start really looking at it, and it's a lot. So so since Lisa's on, so thank you for joining. So, but yeah, so it's a great thing that Sharon's bringing it to light. And for those of you who don't know that, I actually have a brother that's he's actually has cancer right now, and one of the first things that he's going through chemo and all that stuff. The first thing they hi Lexi. So the first thing they tell him to do is cut out all the sugar, right? So no more sugar. So, and you'd be surprised at milk, right? Milk. Sharon just talked about, I agree, milk and ketchup, right? So milk, I haven't drank milk in a long time. So I usually almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, because you can even watch it with the almond milks, because they put sugar in everything, because they say it's one of the most addictive drugs in the world, because it's in everything, and we've gotten so used to it. Thank you. So my brother seems to be doing okay so far. So we'll see. So I actually did send him over because he was having some issues, and he asked for some shakes and stuff like that, and so I sent him over some Keto Chow shakes and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be good for him, because it's a meal replacement. It's easy for him on the days he goes through treatments, or a couple days after the treatments, right? So, but anyway, he's doing well. So he seems to be managing okay. So, we're praying for him, and good things will come from him, right? So, but anyway, but enough of that. Let's be more positive. So, but it is a really, really good thing. I do, and I know, a lot of them. I know anybody on here that's probably doing that. So, trying to get caught up here. So, yeah, thank you everybody for about my brother. So, so I use so ketchup. So I've gone through a couple things. I found like Primal Kitchen ketchup is all natural. It doesn't have. It's actually made with a vinaigrette, so it has a really good taste to it, and it has 0 sugar in it. Simple Truth, actually, from Kruger's now, they have their own brand now, and that's a sugar-free brand of ketchup as well. I don't think it's quite as good tasting as the Primal Kitchen, but it's pretty good. It's one that I usually use. So, take a look at those ketchups you want. There's other ones out there as well. So there's a lot of stuff, if you look for it, that are sugar-free. And you got to be careful when I say sugar-free. For me anyway, when I say sugar-free, I try to, there's certain sugars like maltodextrin and dextrose and stuff that I try to stay away from, and saccharose, and I'll tell you, even like Splenda, and I know people love Splenda, but when you look at Splenda and you look at the ingredients on a Splenda, the package you put sugar in your coffee, it's really mostly maltodextrose, which really is a form of sugar, and you should be counting. It's one carb for one of those, and you should really be counting them. So I hate to say that, but that's just my opinion. Not everybody does, and it's probably not a big deal, but so yeah. So the the HGUs for like the someone was talking about the ketchup, the sugar-free ketchup. The HGUs the uses they're really good. They have really, really good barbecue sauces and stuff of that nature too. So so it sounds like Misty uses them quite a bit. So it's just a good thing. So I did want to talk about. So I'm going to continue to. I have been posting this, so I'm going to continue to post this as well. So this is just my overall tracker that I track. I just have it on my computer in Excel format, and I just plug in the new weekly date. So you can see, vacation here. So we went way up on vacation, but when the next week we went way down. So it was good. I didn't expect to go down that fast. I expected to take a month to get back down there, but it really came down off. So again, for those of folks that if you're if you're in maintenance mode or whatever, just doing regular keto, the protein sparing modifying fast really helped a lot. And you can see that on this chart, where I started doing the protein sparing modifying fast, and it really accelerated my weight loss. So if that's something that you'd really like to do, I do have some of the original calendars back here too. And I know some of them, I think Sherry, a couple people I've sent them to. So like I have one from November. This is when I was doing the 3-day-a-week protein sparing modifying fast. This was when I switched it back to 2 days a week when I was a little more successful in October. And this is where I've taken it back to 1 day a week and started getting into maintenance mode. So 3 different variations on it. I thought it would be pretty cool. So, hey, so I'm gonna draw one of the winners for the first. I'm gonna do these. I got 3 of these. I'm gonna send out for the winners. So people that commented that hashtag keto on last Saturday's videos. So I'm gonna do the drawing for one of those right now. I'll tell you who the winner is. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get my phone out here because I'm gonna take a picture of it. So so once I do it, so let me figure out how to do this. So I use what they call a comment picker, random picker. I wish I figured out how to share my screen with you. I don't know how to do that yet. Something I will do that. So all I go in and I put in the video. I go in and I do a little filter, no duplicate users. So if you put the hashtag comment in there 5 times, it's only going to count you once. And then it's going to look for that word, that hashtag keto. And then you hit the start button. And then it's going through. And the first winner is Sissy Moss. So she's the first winner for this. So let me see if I can show you who she was. All right, so there's the winner. I know it's backwards, right? So, but that's Sissy Moss is the winner. So congratulations to her. In a few minutes here, we'll draw the second one as well, and then the last one here. So again, I thought this was pretty cool. I tell you, we used it. We've used this thing. I would say almost every weekend for the last month. I know I got a lot of great ideas from Janet and her page. So if you haven't been over to Janet's page, go over and check it out. She's been cooking up a storm, and she's been coming up with all kinds of great ideas, especially with the protein sparing modifying breads. So, oh, she is on there. So you'll have to do me a favor I'll comment on the video, and you'll have to send me an email with your information so I can send it to you. So that's our first winner for the day. So, and anyway, but I've been using that thing a lot. So we use it to make hamburger buns. We've been making our protein sparing modified version of a donuts. We've been making, I don't know, all kinds of stuff with it, just tons and tons of stuff with it. So it's really worked good. I really like them. I've used them for other things besides the protein sparing modifying breads as well. All right, Sharon's got to leave. Thank you, Sharon, for joining. Have a great day. Great workout today. So anyway, so we use those a lot. Actually, we have a couple left. We're going to make some more today. We're actually going to try to make a few things that we haven't done yet. So we've made Pandasol before, a low carb version of Pandasol. And if you don't know what Pandasol is, it's actually a Filipino breakfast bread. Generally, it's used for breakfast bread, and it has cheese in the center of it. So we're going to try to make an ube version of that for for one of the videos, and we're probably going to do that later today or tomorrow. And it's actually, it really makes a nice breakfast. And we're going to see how the protein sparing modifying bread works in, we're going to make it ube flavor. So, yeah, that's the one that, yeah, Misty, that's the one that's purple color. So, so Misty, if you get to go to the Philippines for your work, you know, try Pandesal when you get over there. So, it's actually really, really good. So, amongst many other foods that are over there. So, but we're going to try to make that, and that's something that we've kind of dual. But we're going to try to make the pizza as well. We're going to try to make the hot pocket pizzas as well. So I know my wife and I have been trying out. We tried out the Maria Emmerich's. I shouldn't say that. Actually, we used Janet's version of the bread. So so it's a spin-off off of Maria's, and it worked really, really well. So we really, really liked that with the egg whites and everything else. And then Maria Emmerich came out with a what they call a super easy version, and that version was really, really easy, but it was a little more firmer and not quite as fluffy and airy. So I think we liked it better. Then Anita over on the Ketogenic Woman, he did it with 1 1/4 cup of the egg white powder. And that actually was better. It wasn't quite as dense, and it was actually a little fluffier. But I think we still like the ones with the egg whites in them and stuff of that nature. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, you know, go down, watch one of mine, go watch one of Janet's, go watch one of Anita's over at Ketogenic Woman's. Indigo Nelly is another one that makes them, and she does all kinds of stuff with them. There's several of them. Carnivore Angel is another one that has been out there that's doing a lot of different things. I saw her make zebra bread the other day, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, huh? Yeah. So, oh, that would be cool if you, Misty, if you get a chance to go, let me know. So, here's Jerry from San Antonio. That's where my brother lives. My brother lives in San Antonio, Texas. He lives up just north of the city, going out towards Austin. So what's it, 35, I believe, is the highway. So welcome. So this is a this is the mug that I got from when I was in Hawaii. So Lexi said it was a pretty cool mug. So this is we got 2 of them, and they were really, really big, and that's why we got them, because they were so big and they were so nice. We actually bought a bunch of coffee there too. There's some Hawaiian coffee that was actually pretty good. So, but it was just a cool mug, right? It was a souvenir. So, and it was dishwasher safe, and it was, you know, all that good stuff. So, and it actually made it home safe without breaking the handle or breaking anything else. So, so thank you, Alexi. So, yeah. So anyway, so we're playing around with the protein sparing bread still a lot. I would say that I got to tell you, videos that are cooking videos, and I don't know how Janet feels about it, because I know she does a lot of them. But cooking videos are hard, just because, you know, they're so just because so many things go wrong. I can't tell you how many times we've made videos and then we haven't been able to show them because they were such bad fails that you're embarrassed by them and stuff like that. So but anyway, so that's kind of cool. So I do want to talk a little bit about let's see where we're at. So I do want to talk a little bit about my meal plan that I have coming up. Just because of the fact that I am going to do a thorough video of it. I've actually created a meal plan, so I've actually done it in 2 different formats. This is a Word version of it, which is, the writing is a lot easier to read. It's a lot bigger, and then this is an Excel version of it. and it's easier in this version to calculate all the macros and everything else. And basically what I did was I took this, and I kind of, what I did was I put in here day one, it's a keto day. And again, this was really for people that want to lose weight, not so much for maintenance. So this was not for me. This was for other folks. So I really put this together for that. So it's going to be 4 days of total carbs, 22 total carbs, because that's what I was tracking. And then it's 3 days of protein sparing modifying fast. So that's kind of the protocol if you're really looking to lose weight. This is what worked for me. This is what was successful for me. So I am going to do a video on it, do a much more thorough video on it. Like I said, this is day one, and it just kind of goes through. It has like the bulletproof coffee. I actually have egg whites in here. To your choice. I have a video on how to make them, or you can go out and buy them. You can get them just about anywhere now. They're really good, or you can use an egg muffin or something like that. Then it goes through what lunch is. It has the protein sparing modified hot dog rolls. I eat 2 of them. And then it goes through and it talks about, these are the Teton's beef sausage uncured dogs that I get from Costco. And then it talks about the cheddar cheese, 1 slice, and then sugar-free ketchup. So, and then on this side, it has total carbs. It has proteins in grams, fat in grams, and total calories in grams. So it goes through and it goes down on each one of those. It will track what that meal is for the day, 3 total carbs, 30 grams of fat, actually 38 grams of fat, 30 grams of protein, and a total of 474 calories. So each one of them is kind of broken out that way. So Sherry's asking about so she says she doesn't cook keto recipes, but she'd love an easy pizza crust without having to buy all of the wild ingredients. So yeah, so how would I say this? So there's a number of them out there. There's everything from, like I say, I'm trying to think what it's called now. It's the one that the most people use is oh shoot. Carolyn's here. Hi, Carolyn. So the fathead dough, pizza dough, is just basically cheese and a little bit of almond flour. It's pretty easy to do. I would say the easiest one for me to do is, if you like the thin crust one, is if you do the chicken crusted pizza. And I know that's kind of really weird, but it's a chicken crusted. So you buy the chicken already in a can, and you take it out and you just dry it out, and then you mix it with a little bit of cheese, and I put in a little bit of almond flour in it as well. It's really, really super easy. It is really, really super low carb, but if you like thin crust pizzas, that's the way to go. That's one of the ones I like. The chaffle ones are really, really super good too. I make a couple of chaffle ones. Steve over at Serious Keto has the best chaffle recipes out of anybody that I've seen on the net. He does a ton of experimenting with them. He makes them with lumpini flour. He makes them with almond flour. He makes them with all kinds of stuff. And so you make the little ones. And when I was a kid, we used to make those little English muffin pizzas. And these are just like those little English muffin pizzas, and they're excellent. So you make the crust out of the chaffle, and your choice. You can make it like 3 or 4 different ways, where you can put the pepperoni and the cheese into the chaffle and just put a little bit of sauce on them afterwards. I actually like to make the chaffle, and then I like to put a little bit of sauce on them, and then some cheese, and then the pepperoni, and then I like to stick them in the toaster oven for a couple of minutes and broil and melt the cheese and everything else on them. And they're outstanding. So those are one of my favorite ways of having them. But the easiest one that we make it pretty regularly is a chicken crusted one. I would say we make that probably once or twice a month. We buy one of those the cans of chicken at Costco, and we use those a lot. So I'm not sure if there's a great easy way that's not keto, but I'll tell you, just because it's keto doesn't mean it's terrible tasting. So I will tell you that a lot of the keto stuff is pretty good tasting. So let's see. So Caroline's saying Joshua's lavish bread makes a good thin crust pizza as well. I've never had Joseph's Lash, I should say Joseph's, I'm sorry. Joseph's lavish bread. I never heard of it before, so that's really, really interesting. So kind of interesting. And I know Misty said that low carb tortillas make a really good pizza. I know that there's a number of them out there too. You can buy like the Outer Isles ones as well. So, hey, I think it's time for the second drawing for the second muffin holder. So here it goes, and the winner is Cheryl. I think it's Cheryl Keegan. So I'm going to take a picture of that, and I'll show you that here in a second. Hold on a second. Yeah, I wish I could share the screen with you, so that would make the world so much easier. I suppose if I cast it on my phone, I could do that. So that's the winner of number 2. So congratulations. So that's fantastic. So hopefully you use these things. Hopefully you bake some stuff. Hopefully you take some pictures and you post them online somewhere that we can see them. So Seattle Sapphire is online. So Athena made she made these noodles last week that I got to tell you, I'm really, really intrigued about. Where you add a bunch of ingredients together, you put them in a bottle, one of like those ketchup squirters, and then you squirt it into the water, and it actually forms noodles. That's pretty awesome. So go over there and check out that video. I'm really intrigued with that whole concept. So thanks, Misty. Misty said I was doing great. So yeah, the noodles were I'm really fascinated by it. So yeah, so it's something I think I'm going to have to try. I don't have a bottle that I can squirt it out of, so I'm going to have to go down to the store and buy one or something. I have to go down to 99-cent store and see if they have like one of those plastic squirt bottles I can fill up with and use it. So, but it kind of came out really cool. So I do have a lot of noodles. I do use those shiitake noodles from the Kojak plants, and I use the noodles from the Heart of Palms. I have a couple different varieties of those. I actually used the one from Costco last week. That was actually pretty good. That was not too bad. I was pretty happy with them. But my wife pointed out to me yesterday that they actually have some of the shiitake noodles, and I guess they're made out of spinach. So we're thinking that we're going to probably get some of those and try them once we use some of the noodles that we have up first. So. But I really like to try the ones that that they made on that Seattle Sapphire made on her page. So yeah, so Misty's probably, she's tried the Costco ones and she said she likes them as well. Yeah. Yeah, and Ketogenic Woman, she actually made them. She made them. This she did something similar to them as well. She makes some carnivore noodles as well, which I thought was pretty interesting. So yeah, so Anita over at Ketogenic Woman does a lot of really cool recipes as well. She does some sous vide cooking. And that's something else that's really got me intrigued and really interested in. And I've seen Steve over at Serious Keto do it as well a few times as well, and it looks pretty interesting. And it's something that I would like to do. Has anybody else here tried that sous vide cooking? If you did, let me know. And what do you think of it? So um, it's kind of I guess it's a French word for under pressure or something. Um, yeah. So carnivore noodles. Yeah, it's really interesting. So right. So it's got to be close to zero carbs in them. Um, so it was definitely something that's really interesting. So if you're really watching your carb count and some of this stuff, even though it's, you say carnivore or stuff with it, it's actually pretty tasty. Some of it's pretty tasty. So um, I'm a meat lover, so I got to get a drink. So my coffee's gone, so I have to resort to water. Um, so let me know what you think of the meal plan. You like the setup on the Excel version here with the numbers coming down? Of course, I can make them larger and I can put a landscape as well when I print them out or put them into PDF. Now this is the Word version. The Word version kind of just went through. It has like the breakfast day one, and I have a Sunday day one, and it has the same thing like the bulletproof coffee. But then just has one total carb, the protein, the fat, and then the egg bite, and then it has the total here, and it does total it for each one of them. Again, this one, just because of the wording is smaller, is kind of looks more difficult. And this one is a lot bigger. I will probably increase the size of this and turn it landscape so that it fits onto the paper better. But I'm just kind of wondering what people thought before I finish it and start sending it out or offering it to folks, which one they like better. It's not a big deal to do either one of them. So no, it's not. So Tina asked, is this meal plan specific to a man or woman? I said, no, it's not really. What it is it just a meal plan. For me, what I used when I did the protein sparing modifying fast, where I did 22 total carbs for the month of when I did in October, I did 4 days of 22 total carbs, and then I did 3 days of protein sparing modifying fast. So like on day 2 on here, and this is the Word version of it, but it has all my notes on here and stuff of that nature. So on this actually has a better. So on day 2, which is the protein sparing modifying fast day. So again, protein sparing modifying fast, you have to stay below 10 total carbs. Your fat content has to be below 30, right? Realistically, 30 to 50. And then your protein is supposed to be equal to your lean mass. So for me, when I did the calculation, it was 160. So my protein was supposed to be 160, which is really opposite of our normal keto. And then our calories are supposed to be 1,000 or less. So that's what I targeted. So it kind of puts you into a fast state, but without losing any muscle mass or anything else, right? So that's the premise. So, but on this one, so you'll see down here. So like on this day 2, the coffee, 2 scoops of collagen. I had 2 egg whites. I had the hard-boiled eggs, and I just took the yolks out. And that's what I had. It was 0 carbs, 28 protein, 0 fat, and 117 calories. And it's actually pretty filling, right? And then here for lunch, I had the 2 Egg Life wraps. You saw those Egg Life wraps, so you can use any of the wraps. they're 0 carbs, 10 calories, 10 protein, 0 fat, and 50 calories for 2 of them. And then I used the Applegate smoked turkey breast, and I used the whole package, 7 ounces, and made 2 wraps with those. So, and that was the whole day. So if you eat this way for the whole day, it's actually quite a bit of food. So it has like the boneless chicken breast, 12 ounces, right? And then a half a cup of broccoli with it. So I tried to get my veggies in every day. And then total for the day was only 7 carbs for the day. The protein on here was 161, so I was trying to hit 160. So again, and the fat was only 16, and the total calories was 848. So that's the premise behind this, so that you can kind of mix them up and do them. It gives you a kind of an idea of what you have to eat if you want to do the protein sparing modifying fast. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not that. Misty said that she loves veggies in the air fryer. I'm not that. Not that prepared. So I'm usually one of those guys that buys the veggies that you stick in the microwave and you just steam them. So yeah. So Carolyn said when she can't wait until she can go back on keto. Well, you got 5 or 6 more months, and then you have to decide when and where, right? So Carolyn's having a baby, so it'd be pretty cool to see. I know. Hopefully, you're watching a lot over at you watch the Keto Connect folks, and they have 2 kids now, and they've been doing keto. They were one of the first channels I started watching. I think when I started this journey back in October of 2017, and at the time they were just the 2 of them, and then about 2 years later, Megan got pregnant, and it was kind of interesting watching them go through the pregnancy and all that stuff. So hopefully, Carolyn, you're kind of watching them a little bit and taking some notes and some stuff. And I don't know whether she's done anything, Megan and Matt have done anything about watching it and doing it before and after pregnancy and all that stuff. So anyway, so I'm going to do the 3rd drawing now. So I think we're getting closer to the end. So I'm going to do the 3rd drawing, if that's okay with everybody. All right, and here we go. All right, and then the 3rd winner is Missy Mick. So I'm going to take a picture of that. And I'll show you that. So that was our 3rd winner. So congratulations, Misty. So or Missy, I should say, not Misty, Missy. Sorry, Misty, Missy Mack. So she's the winner of the 3rd one. So so that's all 3 of these. Hopefully it was a good giveaway. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the meal plans. What would you like to see? Would you like to see this? Suggestions that I can make it easier or better. Again, it's kind of, I will tell you that between working full time and then trying to do this and then trying to do some other stuff, it's pretty time consuming. So we don't want to, and I don't want to take time away from family or anything else. So I'm trying to squeeze it all in. So, so hopefully things are good. Like I said, I'm hopefully enjoying it. The community has really grown a lot over the last 6 months. It just took off. And a lot of it had to do with Janet. I hate to say that, Janet, but thank you, because she publicized she did a shout out a couple times, and she did a shout out on my channel, and I think one day, and I got like 200 subscribers in one day. So it was like, unbelievable, what she did. And she's been growing like crazy as well. So, I owe a lot to her. So, so thank you. So, but I do like doing it. I love the cooking. I love all the camaraderie. I love all of the comments and everything else. So, you know, so I would kind of like to ask if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask of me or of others in the group. So, yeah, so you got to really love the community. You know, Misty said she agrees, loves the communities, and I know Misty said the same thing. It can be a little bit time consuming. So it takes some work. And I would say it's not the work on doing the videos as far as shooting the videos, it's the editing and a lot of the stuff that you don't see behind the screen that you got to do the editing and piecing together, and then all the uploads and the downloads and all that kind of stuff. So I did get a new camera for my birthday, and I'm still learning to work it. The camera quality is absolutely fantastic. I can actually hook it up to my laptop and use it as my camera for live streams and stuff as well. But I need to learn how to use it first before I do it. So that way there it can do with the 1080 or the 4K video. So the picture quality will be a lot better. Hopefully the sound quality is a lot better as well. I really, really like the new camera. I love the new camera. But it has forced me to also use some different software to upload the videos, which has been, again, most of my issues around doing this all is learning all the editing tricks and tools. And so I'm using, what is it, VSCM or something like that now, and on my laptop to do the editing, and it's very different than what I was using before when I was using just my phone. So I was using my phone, and then I was also using, I have an Osmos Action 1, which is a video camera. It's kind of like the GoPro. It's the how do you say it? It's the competitor for the GoPro. So, but yeah, and so. So Sandy's asking if I've made the cinnamon buns yet using the protein sparing modifying fast. I have not. So that's something I do want to make. Again, I have several recipes that I want to make. I want to make the hot pockets, the pizza hot pockets with the protein sparing modifying bread. And if it comes out good, again, that may be, if you're looking for a pizza quick and easy, that may be the best way to go, because unfortunately, hey, Nikki and G are on. Welcome. It must be really late for you over there. It must be nighttime. So, yeah, it's kind of the way I think. If it works out well, I made those little apple pie things. I think I would have put a little more cinnamon in them next time, but they were really good. Yeah, so we have a lot of them, and the cinnamon ones are one. I'd like to do the pull apart bread that Janet did as well. I'd like to make that. That looked really, really interesting. I'm a big pizza guy, so I love pizza. So all right. So get a little closer. So Sherry's saying the one suggestion would be to be a little closer so she get a little better sound. So hey, so Nikki and G are really, really close to their 1,000 marks. So if you guys haven't gone over and checked out the Too Fat Too Furious YouTube channel, go over there and check them out, help them out. I mean, they're like within like a few people of that 1,000 subscriber mark. So it would really be nice to help them get to that mark and get over and whatever else. Hey, and better fact, if there's anybody that's a YouTube creator on here, if you could put a nice little heart after your name, put a comment in there, and so who's a creator, and maybe they can go check out their page and subscribe to them and help them out. Everywhere from Seattle Sapphire to Misty to Too Fast Too Furious. There's a bunch of them out here. So I really appreciate it, Caroline. So there's a ton of them out here that are on there. So it's always really a good thing to help each other out, and let's all achieve our goals together, right? So um, I know Val's was doing a live this morning as well, and but there's a bunch of channels that are all related with each other. So um, so Seattle Sapphire is saying that she's going to go out and check out the channels that that are on here as well. So I think it's a great thing. So you know, so let's help each other out and grow, and you know. Yeah, Caroline's almost at 500 subs, um, so like again, let's all grow together. We all can learn together. We can all help each other. We can all, you know, get better and better together. So, um, you know, so how's the weather over in Ireland? Is it cool and wet and still, or is it cleared up a little bit and got a little warmer? All right. So Misty says she hit 500 today. So fantastic. At least she thinks she did. So that's pretty cool. So there's a lot of great people out there in the world, and a lot of really good people out there in the world, right? So um, so I guess over in Ireland it's dry, but it's cold. So I never thought of Ireland or England either. I don't think of them as being cold places, but I guess they do get cold. I don't know whether they get snow over there or not, but and I've been there a few times, so I've been pretty fortunate to have a job where I did some traveling before, and visited a lot of places around the world. And um, so now as I get older, I kind of, after you do it for a few years, you kind of really get tired of living out of a suitcase. So um, wasn't so much fun after a while. But it's also hard to do eating, and because you're doing a lot of business dinners and stuff like that. So but anyway, so you have any keto questions, low carb questions? Um, you know, let me know. Let's ask. Now is the time to ask the community. Most of us can help you, or we can help each other. I should say it's really not helping you; it's kind of helping each other, right? So really what we're doing. So I know Nikki and G had said that they had lost some weight this past week. It's mainly to do with them cutting out a lot of their sugars. They assume it's a lot of the sugars and eating. It's forced them to help them to eat a lot healthier. So so congratulations to them. I will tell you, sugar's not a good thing. So well, actually, it is a good thing, but it's too much of a good thing, I guess, right? So, um, but things that what's your favorite foods to eat when you're doing the low carb or healthy eating? Um, you know, again, mine was pizza, so I've really found a way around it. Ice cream is another one. I love ice cream, so I've kind of found some recipes that we make our own ice cream, and then we freeze them, and we freeze them in these small little containers that are just a serving, rather than, because I'm the type of person that if I sit down and like even the keto ice creams, like the Rebel ice creams or the Enlightened, that if I sit down with a pint of it, I'm going to eat the whole pint. I'm not going to eat half of it. I'm just not my nature. So I buy these little ones that are like a quarter of a pint, and I fill them up and I freeze them. Then I can take them out, and that's all I'm going to eat. Um, so, so what time is it in Ireland? Yeah, so they're saying that today is day 13 and still no sugar. So congratulations on that. So um, yeah, they got to be considerably ahead of us as far as time. So um, I'm on the Pacific Coast time, so here it's not quite noontime, or it's just noontime now. Um, so that means it's got to be like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in Ireland. So, but all right. So with that said, I think we've hit the hour mark. I want to thank everybody. I think I'm going to end it here. Um, you know, yeah. I know, I don't know the difference between Mountain Standard Time and Pacific Time, other than when we do daylight savings time, they stay the same and we don't. So I think right now Val and I are on the same because she's in Arizona and I'm in California. And then when we go back to daylight savings in the springtime, we'll be an hour ahead of her and she'll be an hour behind us. So it's kind of weird. So yeah, so I'm in California. I live pretty close to the shore. We live in a really nice community that's not very far from the shore. So the only difference I will say, because I am from the East Coast, I grew up in Connecticut. My family's really from Maine, in New England, Connecticut, that area. I grew up there. I still have a lot of family there. Um, Matter of fact, we moved here for a job back 8 years ago now. Yeah, so 8 years ago we moved here for a job out here. So, but yeah, so and it's been good. We've enjoyed it. So we actually went down yesterday into downtown LA because we had to conduct some business yesterday, and that was. If you've never driven anywhere in traffic, you've never driven. I should say you've never driven in traffic like you have in LA. So it's bumper to bumper, 7 days a week, almost 24 hours a day. So it takes you from here to LA is only 40 miles, but it literally takes you an hour and a half to 2 hours to get into town on the highway. So, but anyway, enough of that. So, hey, thanks everybody. I want to thank you for joining me. This has been good. It's been a good experience for the first time. I really want to thank you. You guys have been super, super, super. Um, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Um, one thing I can do is talk. I have a problem stopping talking, but um, but I really enjoyed it. You guys are the best. So I will talk to you soon. I'll talk to you next time. Have a great day. Remember, be kind to each other, be good to each other. And remember, most importantly, that you guys are awesome, right? So you are awesome. Really think about that. And all right. So I'll talk to you later. Have a great one.